So I'm just having a bit of a chuckle because I just I just thought I was recording this great 5-minute video in the car and realized that it wasn't recording at all. That is fantastic. I love it. Now I get a chance to do it all over again. I was just listening to a podcast by the School of Greatness, and the podcast is titled 7 Steps to a Bulletproof Life with Chris Lee, and he was just talking about choosing to be responsible for the soundtrack that we sorry, hands on the wheel, the soundtrack to our lives. Choosing to be responsible for how we experience life. Now, what do I mean by that, you might ask? Good question. So it's this, okay? You can take a room full of people and they can all witness something. So they can all witness anything. Let's pick something. They can all witness a car accident or a fight, or they could all witness a something really wonderful. But every person in that room will have a different experience of it, which they will language in their unique way. And once we realize this, we realize that we actually have a lot of power to create the way we want to experience life, to create the soundtrack. Now, a lot of people are stuck in, and you probably know them, and you may have been there yourself. I know I certainly have, where you see everything in the negative. It's what a terrible day. Everything's going wrong. Why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? And it's very disempowering, low energy language. And what Chris Lee is saying, well, we can take charge of that. We can turn that around, and we can actually take anything that we are experiencing and give it a different meaning, give it a meaning of our choice. But we have to assume responsibility for the way we are choosing to experience events that happen to us. Okay? And go with me on this, because it comes on the back of, I was reading Anthony Robbins' Awaken the Giant Within, and the chapter was talking about vocabulary and transformational vocabulary. The difference between I can't do this, I'll never be able to, I should, and being very, very, very intentional about the language that we use. So I can't can be changed to how can I, or what would this be like when I have, insert your own words here. And you can hear the difference. I can't do this. It's very low energy. It's very disempowering. Whereas you change I can't, or I'm not like that, to how could I be like that? How could I be like that? How could I do that? And change I can't to, well, I can, or how can I do that? It suddenly lifts us into a completely different realm of thinking. It lifts our awareness from an attitude of loss and disempowerment to a world of possibility. How can I do this? I wonder if I could. And that would lead to better questions such as, how does he do it? Could I do that too? How can I do that too? You hear the difference? There's almost an excitement there, which is just phenomenal. I think too many of us live in this world of I can't do this, I can't do that. Too many of us know people, have friends that are the most unlucky people in the world. Everything bad happens to them. Nothing good ever happens. And as Anthony Robbins rightly says, as many people say, what you focus on is what you get, to the exclusion of almost everything. Let me say that again. What you focus on is what you get, to the exclusion of almost everything. And to those people that feel like the most unlucky people in the world, and we all know who they are, and if they're ourselves, this is a challenge, this is a wake-up call to take charge and break that state, break that cycle. Because if you're constantly focusing on the negative things, your mind will search out reasons to validate that thinking, that focus. So then the opposite is true. Has to be. If we focus on the good things, if we focus on gratitude, and we focus on belonging, and we focus on, I guess, the ultimate expression of all this, which is love, then we will retrain our brain, our mind, to search for those things. Have you ever gone looking for a new car and you've picked a yellow car, and you took that yellow car for a test drive, and everybody commented, you took it home to the family and showed them this yellow car you were thinking of buying, and everybody loved the yellow car. Some people said, whoa, that's a bright yellow car, you sure that's for you? And you said, yes, I really want this yellow car. And then you took the car back and to the dealership, and you decided that you were going to buy it, and you'd come back on the weekend and finalize the deal. Every day of that week that went by, you were driving, what did you suddenly see? Everywhere, yellow cars. Because our mind was suddenly focused on, I love this yellow car, can't wait to get my hands on this yellow car, and all of a sudden yellow cars are everywhere. My kids play a game in the car, and it's basically the first person to see a yellow car, you know, I don't know what, gets a pat on the back or wins or gets to go, yay, I saw the yellow car first. And, you know, if you haven't played that game for a few weeks or a few months, you don't notice yellow cars. The minute you start playing that game, and I'll be doing it now in my drive, I'll start seeing yellow. Oh, there's one up there. There was literally one up the side street. There's a yellow car, because I've told my mind to focus on that. This is the power of the mind. And to get back to what I started with, I think 3 things. 3 takeaways. Driving with my knee now, this is great. 3 takeaways. What we focus on is what we get, to the exclusion of almost everything. So choose very carefully and be very intentional. Oh, here's a yellow car. I've got to show you this. Yellow car. So be very intentional about where you place your focus in life. Question it. Does it serve you? Does it support you? Is it guiding you to the life you want? Number two, take responsibility. Take responsibility for the soundtrack you are creating for your life. And if you're not happy with the soundtrack, be honest with yourself and change it. Do something different. Scratch the record. Okay? Break the grooves, scratch the record, and choose a different way. And takeaway number 3. All of this is achievable. All of this doesn't cost a cent. It will not cost you $1. It will not cost you 1 cent to implement these changes in your life. But the rewards of doing this on a daily basis, the rewards of practicing this and making this an intentional part of your life will be priceless. And if you want to talk further about this, contact me, message me. Let's have a greater conversation about where you're at. I'd love to talk to you. Cheers.